Welcome to Bourbon Real Talk. We are going to do a review of the brand new Jack Daniel's American Single Malt Oloroso Sherry, which is a finished product that they have. You have seen a review on this channel before of their twice barreled, which is very similar to this, but this is a new travel exclusive release that's coming out, and we wanted to talk about it. So we just got off of the live with Chris Fletcher himself, the master distiller for Jack Daniel's, who was telling us all about this whiskey, and it is a single malt. And admittedly, the Bourbon Real Talk channel doesn't have a ton of single malt experience. So I've invited my friends who have a little bit more single malt experience to come and join me and give a review of this whiskey. Please introduce yourselves. You can start.
Hi, my name is Clarissa. I'm the wife of Bourbon and Booze.
Bourbon and Booze.
Sammy, we host our own podcast Monday through Friday, bourbonandbooze.com.
Nice.
I'm Cody. I'm the son of Bourbon and Booze and the Mooch.
The Mooch. Nice. I've heard that reference on another channel. I don't know. We don't need to.
It's not copyrighted.
It's not copyrighted. We looked it up. It's not. There's no trademark for that. Okay, so Jack Daniel's is amazing in that they have included me in a lot of their special releases, and they send me sometimes these amazing packages. And this is what I got in the mail this week, and it is, as you can see, a nice custom-made box, but it has a magnetic thing that keeps it closed. And on the inside, there's a space for this bottle, which you can see, and 2 specialty tasting glasses, and whatever this golden ticket is, which I have not opened yet. So we are going to open that and see what is in it. And I have my handy dandy opener here. So we will see. I have been drinking, so Sammy's a little bit nervous, which is fair. We've been drinking all day doing the filming.
Been lots of fun.
Lots of fun. Okay.
Wow.
Nice. Dear friends and ambassadors, thank you for joining me in the global unveiling of the first American single malt available exclusively to global travelers. Together, we're not only making history, but reinventing whiskey. It's a pretty aggressive statement.
A little bit.
Our distillery team has leveraged 150 years of whiskey making and created this exclusive innovation of our one-of-a-kind American single malt, a new take on the timeless traditions of single malt Scotch crafted from 100% malted barley that is ground, fermented, and distilled in Lynchburg, Tennessee. Just like our old number 7, it passes through Jack Daniel's traditional charcoal mellowing process, Lincoln County process for those who are paying attention at home. It is then matured in charred American white oak barrels and finished in the finest quality Spanish Oloroso Sherry Casks, characterized by dark chocolate, nuts, and berries with a subtle sweet finish, and bottled at 90 proof. It is a richer, more complex sipping experience. Again, thank you. And here's to Tennessee whiskey makers creating a single malt whiskey with tried and true American tradition. So, very nice. I had not seen that until this moment. Okay. So, now that I have... Oh. Okay, there we go. We got that. So, if you watch this channel, you probably saw me do the review of the twice barreled special release. And when we were on the call with Chris Fletcher, the master distiller, I asked him what's the difference between the twice barreled special release and this, and he basically said
Not much.
not much.
Not a whole lot.
So when they originally started making single malt, they started making their single malt with the malted barley that they use for their traditional Jack Daniel's Tennessee whiskey mash bill. And with some experimentation, they figured out there were other single malts that produced a better flavor. And so this might have some of the original single malt in it. This had the post-experimentation single malt after they had kind of figured things out. But there's no indication as to what the percentage is of the original. So anyway, let's taste it up.
Kind of cool because I've heard of heritage yeast,
Yes.
but never heard of a heritage malt. They braided some from the original.
So these guys do a lot of Scotch reviews and have traveled overseas, have a lot of experience with single malts. And so I'm very curious to see what your thoughts are on this. And if you saw my review of the double-barreled, I loved it.
Right away, because of the sherry cask, you're getting a lot of notes that remind me of lowlands.
Okay.
Kind of an earthy but sweet.
There's certainly an earthiness in this. When I smell it, I get fresh cut hay.
Okay.
And I don't know if that's fair, but
No.
there's a sweetness mixed with a fresh cut hay. It's not quite like mowing your yard. Because to me, hay is a little less green and a little sweeter. So it's more of a fresh cut hay.
Yeah.
I would say probably more like stored baled hay.
Stored,
Like
okay.
inside the barn, that mustiness.
A little bit of mustiness.
Because I get that a lot from malt, that rot smell. Scotch gives me the initial smell, always the rot.
Okay.
Oftentimes I get a tobacco taste from it. I don't from this. I
I
don't
would
get the
say
tobacco.
on the sour end of that musty rot that you get from lots of different whiskeys.
There's a little bit of
Yeah.
acidity, like a sourness.
Yeah.
Okay. I certainly don't disagree with that.
I had a distiller this last weekend say that in order to pull cherry flavor, you need to use almond. That it comes out as a cherry flavor. I think this one works backwards into the almond flavor.
Oh, and
Okay.
nutty.
Like it, they say
There's
dark
do
fruits.
get a nutty.
I get the nutty, dry, like that dry skin almond flavor.
I certainly would not disagree with that.
I'm going to reach down here.
That actually fits for me. That's that. Yep. The skin of the almonds.
Oddly enough,
With a bit of bitterness
Yeah.
mixed in. Yeah.
That makes
Oddly
sense.
enough,
to me.
I never knew that cashews had skins on them because I'd never had a cashew with the skin still on it,
Mm-hmm.
like
know
peanut
that.
skins. And I just recently had some of those, so I was like, it tastes like the skin of the nut.
So one of the things we do in the Scotch world, and I do it in bourbon too, is I add a little bit of water because it'll separate the oils and the tannins.
Mm-hmm.
And that actually makes a huge difference on the aroma. Now, as little as I had, I just probably proofed it down to about 85.
Yeah.
But it does make a big difference on the aroma. Takes away some of the Oloroso.
Okay. Is that better or worse?
Worse.
Okay.
It's giving more of the nuttiness and
All that
the
buildup.
hay.
Yeah.
But it's bringing out the malt a lot more.
Yeah, so I would say I find this extremely interesting.
For sure.
If you gave this to me blind and you gave me 1,000 guesses, none of them would be that it was Jack Daniels. None.
Nope.
For sure. But for me, there's a kind of a barnyard, like fresh cut hay with a little bit of a mustiness mixed into it. That's not 100% appealing to my palate. Where at this proof point, which this is just 90 proof, there's not enough of the dark dried fruits from the Oloroso Sherry Cask still left in it. It at that proof down point for me to feel like it's as balanced as this like twice barreled was.
Yes.
But I do see how, this one's little brother.
Yeah. That's a great.
I would, if I knew this was American single malt, I would never guess it's Jack Daniel's. I figured it's a new craft Midwestern. The thing that gets me most about this is there's a vast color difference there. This is really dark and
brownish.
It's a dark whiskey for Tennessee. So it makes me
3 years in the Oloroso Sherry Cask,
which is to me is unheard of.
That is unheard of.
Yeah.
Like most finishings are 3 to 6 months. 3 years?
That's crazy.
That is
the muskiness.
Insane amount of time in the Oloroso Sherry.
And so that kind of makes me understand why this is travel exclusive, because you're probably trying to pick up that market of the wine drinkers or the Scotch drinkers from Europe and stuff that probably like a little bit more sweet or Oloroso flavor to it.
And we've tried
I don't
some
pick any of the sweet
from Europe that are very similar.
Yeah.
With the finishing and such.
Yeah, this reminds me of one of the new craft lowlands, the Arans or something like that.
Or something we've tried from Italy.
Yeah.
I just think that I opened my mouth walking into a barn and swallowed the taste.
Okay. So
That's what I taste. I can't move past that.
And if that's the taste for you,
That musty hay,
Right.
malted.
So this is not for you.
Not for me. But I'm not much about wine, sherry, cask, anything.
No. So would you pick up a bottle?
I would pick up a bottle just because I'm a huge Jack fan and I like collecting Jacks, and I love the flavor profile differences at the higher level, the higher proofs that Jack's putting out. But it would probably be my one and only bottle, where that one I'd be buying as much as I could.
That's fair. I'm on board with that. If I see one of these, I'll certainly pick it up, just to have it to share and whatnot. I think it's a unique expression.
Yes.
But I feel like most of Jack Daniel's special releases have been knocking it out of the park, and this one, at this proof point, the overall flavor profile is not exactly what I'm looking for. But I still think that this is something that people should experience, just so that they can, understand what Jack Daniel's is about. How about you?
I'd actually agree, and I'm going to get a message from a friend. I would actually pick that up if it's reasonably affordable, because it is so unique and different. It is not my flavor profile, but it's the perfect thing to help someone narrow in, because that's an extreme flavor. Get another extreme flavor, you can help them find something in the middle. And if they like that flavor, you can find something else that's narrowing it down, even if they're like, this is a little too much.
Okay.
But I would get that for my bar because it's unique.
Yeah.
But not my flavor.
It's certainly a unique expression. I'm not sure that at this proof point it's the best representation of what Jack Daniel's has been able to do with Oloroso Sherry Cask aging. But certainly interesting and unique. So we appreciate you tuning in. And as always, we love you guys. Cheers.